Good morning and happy Monday. Welcome to Beyond Meat Mondays. Maybe if you are living far east, then it's maybe already afternoon or evening on Monday. Because today in this episode of Beyond Meat Mondays, we will talk about China, another company that will be a multi-billion-dollar company because of China. So today's episode is quite interesting because we will not only talk purely about the China growth and China boom of Beyond Meat, but also we will talk a little bit about the competition, what the competition is doing, why Beyond Meat is still the number one stock for the food industry if you want to invest into the sector. Let's talk about the first topic, which is both Beyond Meat as well as Impossible Foods will lower the prices, which I believe is a great step. Second point will be the direct-to-consumer sales by Impossible Foods, guys. This is a huge step for Impossible Food because these steps will really provide Impossible Food a little bit of an edge on profit margins as well as reachability. Right? So I'm very much closely watching that. Then we will talk about the Beyond Meat stocks, how it performed the last couple of weeks and this week. And last but not least, we will talk about the China opportunity and the China update for Beyond Meat after they launched at KFC and Pizza Hut. Let's talk about Beyond Meat prices. Now, this is one of my favorite topics. Why? Because currently the issue is that Beyond Meat is more expensive than regular meat. And this is an issue because this should be an alternative to meat. And for most people, yes, there is the argument it's more cleaner meat. It's more sustainable friendly. It's healthier for you. But still, some people don't care about these things. Unbelievable, but this is humanity. And they only look into the price. If Beyond Meat is, with these arguments, next to the real meat and it's 30% more expensive, most people will go for the real meat, okay? So therefore, I believe this is very important. And we have seen over the year that Impossible Foods actually slashed their prices by 15%. Now, both companies, Impossible Food, which is one of the main competitor and still a private company, is having the same problem as Beyond Meat. Well, it's a luxury problem because as soon as they make their product, it's absolutely sold out, okay? So they have having no demand issues at all. So it's hard for them, obviously, to say, we want to go down, but as soon as we bring something on the market, we don't have to even cap a little bit of our profit margins because everything gets sold. So it's more of the problem to produce more than to bring the prices down. But however, if you want to grow, it's more about the price, and this is where it works hand in hand because economics are as more you produce, as less goes the price. Now, this is very important and advantage for Beyond Meat because Beyond Meat is very good at scaling, and they won already a couple of pitches against Impossible Food where Impossible Food said, hey, we cannot provide these quantities out there, okay? So Beyond Meat, for example, won the test phase with McDonald's, therefore, and this was a huge win for Beyond Meat. And therefore, I believe that Beyond Meat is really having the right strategy also to go very early public, to get access to funds, to grow more, and so on. Now, if you want to be a professional investor like I am, I actually live from stocks, and this is a whole lot of work, of research, okay? So I always tell you guys, go into the earnings calls, look through the earnings report word by word, look at the details. And the last earnings report and earnings call was very important because there was asked about the profit margin, because it was almost 40%, which is insane, guys. A great product, and it's just selling like crazy, and it's having a huge profit margin, and they don't have to lower the prices because it's just not necessary at this point, okay? But however, they want to, okay? And I believe this is a huge, great way to run a company if you're having this luxury problems. However, the CFO said that they think that they will meet regular meat prices in about 4 years. So 2024, a piece of Beyond Meat will be at same price as the real thing, okay? So this will be super interesting, because then we will see a huge change, I guarantee you. And maybe, I'm not the biggest fan of Jim Cramer, but he said that Beyond Meat, or companies like Beyond Meat, can have the same growth as Amazon had. When you're running a company or having a product to sell, then distribution is one of the most important parts of a business. Now, think about distribution is the way from your warehouse till the client. And currently the food industry is using, let's say, middlemen in forms of restaurants, in forms of supermarkets, or in forms of other specialty stores that's selling their product. Now, I believe that this is definitely the right approach for the right product, but now we see Impossible Foods doing something different. They are going directly to consumer because they are saying that the demand is so big that they can even have an additional sales funnel to the clients. And I don't know how the grocery stores like that, if it with time will move towards the market of Impossible Foods, and Impossible Foods will have back their commissions and all other things that are paying to the grocery stores. However, this, I think, it's a very interesting move, and it's quite interesting that Impossible Foods is making this move first, because then we can see if this is really working, and if it's working, maybe something to adopt for Beyond Meat. Now, Beyond Meat has a really freaking tunnel vision right now. It's about China, it's about scaling. So this is what I love, okay? So this is important to understand because scaling is so important for this company right now. And I believe that we shall see how this direct to consumer really working, because on the other side, I think many people would go for the website of Beyond Meat, for example, and order their special burger patties, which are still a niche product, right? If you're thinking about it, at directly the website. So this will be interesting because it will also allow the companies to lower the product price and still keep the same margin, which is quite high at this moment. So I think it's a quite interesting move business-wise. Moreover, we see that this is the innovation to go directly to consumer. It's not for every product out there, guys, but it's very interesting for the food business, specifically for this very niche product out there. So we shall see, and I'm very curious how it works out. So let's talk about Beyond Meat stock. As you can see here from the actual screen recording from my phone, that the stock this week had almost no change. Like, we lost about 2.22%, which is quite, normal after you really went parabolic. So if you can see here, since the lows in March, where you could buy a stock of $54, okay, the stock went 150%. This was because of great earnings, great news, shortage of real meat, and so many other futuristic things that you will hear in the future more and more, okay? So you can see here that the stock in the last months didn't actually change that much. So I think that this is something that, you know, is totally okay. I mean, the price actually at $133 per share is, in my personal opinion, at this moment, priced to perfection. So I'm not buying at this moment. It's more about that I'm now enjoying my profits because, you know, as you follow my channel, back in February, I loaded the stock here around where it was at $85, $86 per share. And, you know, so I gained already on my investment, but still, you know, I feel I want to earn more from this opportunity. I want to be more involved into Beyond Meat and buy much more stocks. And, you know, therefore my personal opinion is that you can buy around levels $100 to $75. Okay. So I think, you know, currently it's an enjoy moment for the stock, and I'm waiting and hoping that the stock can go much lower so I can build a much bigger position into this company, because I have this unbelievable conviction of this stock and industry that this will be the future. Guys, so we know now that Beyond Meat is conquering China with their products in KFC, Taco Bell, as well as Pizza Hut. So this is amazing. This is outstanding, guys. And since the 3rd of June, this is live, guys. So people are conquering the fast food industry there and really going for Beyond Meat. But you think, you know, is it something new that they're going there? Is it something, you know, known? Or how is the market in China? Well, let me tell you, it's nothing new. There's companies like Then Meat, for example. They are producing meat or alternative meat for a different kind of cultural meat, like for example for meatballs, for noodle dishes, and so on and so forth. So it's a really different approach, and I believe that will be all about brand, taste, price. This will be the 3 big implements how customer will decide for one of the products, right? And obviously accessibility. Now, if you are going regular to KFC and Pizza Hut and McDonald's, then you are lucky if you are a Beyond Meat investor, because all of those chains, as well as Starbucks, has Beyond Meat. So it's all about how fast companies can get to the big chains to really get their product inside, because once it's inside, the probability is very, very high that it stays there as well. There was a quite interesting bit from the CEO of Beyond Meat in the earnings call Q1. They said, you know, still there is a lot of testing, but there was not even one test which didn't implemented a new big client to Beyond Meat. So you can see that this is absolutely great. And the market in China for alternative meat, or how they call it, the China free meat market, growth from 9 billion to 12 billion from 2014 to 2024. These are the guidance. And if you're thinking that Beyond Meat is just a $9 billion company, this is huge way to go, guys. So I think that, you know, Beyond Meat has a huge market, a super aggressive growing timeline, and this will be the key to success for this company. And therefore, you know my statement, I believe that at one point in time, there will be Beyond Meat stock at $1,000.